My beloved child, today, let this message reach you gently, not as noise, not as pressure, but as truth finding its way into your heart at exactly the right moment. You are not here by accident. You did not stumble upon these words randomly. Something within you sensed that there was more happening beneath the surface of your life, more than what your eyes can see, more than what people have told you, more than what circumstances appear to be saying. God loves you deeply, completely, and without condition, but love does not always look the way we expect it to. Sometimes love reveals what has been hidden, not to hurt you, but to heal you. Sometimes love pulls back the curtain so you can finally understand why things have felt heavy, confusing, or unsettling. This is one of those moments. God's love is not passive. It is not distant. It is not silent. It is active, intentional, and precise. When God loves you, He does not merely comfort you in what is familiar. He invites you into truth. And truth, while freeing, can first feel uncomfortable. That discomfort you've been sensing lately, the quiet restlessness you cannot shake, the feeling that something is off even when everything seems fine on the outside, is not a mistake. It is not anxiety without purpose. It is God gently awakening your awareness. He is showing you what has been hidden, not because He wants to take something from you, but because He wants to protect what He has placed within you. You may have noticed changes happening around you. People acting differently. Situations no longer flowing the way they used to. Doors that once felt open now feel heavy, resistant, or closed entirely. You might have asked yourself what you did wrong, why things feel harder, why clarity seems further away instead of closer. But listen carefully, this is not punishment. This is preparation. God, in His love, is revealing what you could not see before because you were not ready to see it. There are layers being lifted from your life right now. Layers of illusion, misunderstanding, misplaced trust, and delayed truth. God loves you too much to let you live unaware. Love that does not correct is not love at all. Love that does not protect is incomplete. Love that does not reveal truth is fragile. God's love is strong enough to show you what you once overlooked. Strong enough to reveal motives that were hidden behind smiles. Strong enough to expose patterns that kept repeating because they were never confronted. Strong enough to show you where you were settling for less, not because you were weak, but because you were hopeful. There are things God is showing you now that He did not show you before because you would not have understood them then. Your heart was still learning discernment. Your spirit was still growing. You were still healing from things you never spoke out loud. But now you are stronger. Now you are more aware. Now you are able to see without being destroyed by the truth. That is why this revelation is happening now and not earlier. God's timing is never random. He waits until your heart can handle what your eyes are about to see, you may be realizing that not everyone who walked with you was meant to go where you are going. That realization can hurt deeply. It can feel like betrayal, grief, or disappointment. But God is not exposing this to break your heart, He is exposing it to guard your future. Some connections were only meant to accompany you for a season, not define your destiny. Some voices were only meant to encourage you for a time, not shape your identity. When God shows you what is hidden, it is often because what is hidden is beginning to interfere with what He is building. God loves you enough to show you the truth about yourself as well. Not to shame you, but to free you. You may be seeing patterns in your own behavior that you once excused. Ways you overgave. Ways you stayed silent when you should have spoken. Ways you trusted too quickly or held on too long. This awareness is not condemnation. It is growth. God reveals these things because He is refining you, not rejecting you. He sees who you are becoming, not just who you have been. There is a reason you've felt pulled inward lately. A reason you've wanted more quiet, more space, more stillness. God often speaks loudest when He draws you closer to Him in silence. In the quiet moments, when distractions fade, He begins to highlight what you ignored when life was busy. That sudden clarity is not overthinking. That inner nudge is not fear. That uncomfortable realization is not negativity. It is discernment awakening. It is your spirit aligning with truth. God is showing you what is hidden because hidden things cannot go where He is taking you. Hidden motives. Hidden fears. Hidden attachments. Hidden compromises. These things may have survived in the past, but they will not survive in the future God is preparing for you. Love sometimes says, "Look again." Love sometimes says, "Pay attention." Love sometimes says, "This is not what you thought it was." And even when that hurts, it heals more deeply than ignorance ever could. You may feel torn between holding on and letting go. Between what feels familiar and what feels right. Between comfort and obedience. God sees that tension. He is not rushing you, but He is guiding you. He is saying, "Trust me with what you now see. Trust me with what I am revealing. I would not show it to you if I were not also providing the strength to respond to it." God's love for you has always been protective, even when you did not recognize it. Think of the time something did not work out and you were devastated, only to later realize you were spared. Think of the relationships that ended and left you confused, only for you to later see how limited they were. Think of the delays that frustrated you, only for you to understand how necessary they were. This moment is part of that same pattern. You are being spared again. You are being redirected again. You are being guarded again. When God reveals hidden things, it is often because He is about to elevate you. Elevation requires clarity. You cannot rise while carrying what is not meant to go higher. You cannot move forward while remaining entangled in what God has already outgrown in you. This revelation is not an ending, it is a threshold. You are standing at the edge of greater alignment, greater peace, and greater purpose. You may be tempted to question everything right now. That is okay. Questioning is not a lack of faith, it is often a sign of deeper faith being formed. God is not offended by your questions. He invites them. He would rather you wrestle with truth than remain comfortable with illusion. Bring your confusion to Him. Bring your emotions to Him. Bring your fear, your anger, your disappointment. He can handle it. His love does not withdraw when things get messy. Do not rush to explain what God is revealing to others. Some truths are meant to be processed privately before they are spoken publicly. God is teaching you discernment, not defensiveness. Silence, in this season, is wisdom. Observe more. Listen more. Pray more. Let understanding settle in your spirit before you act. Reaction can distort revelation. Stillness protects it. God is also showing you hidden strength within yourself. Strength you did not know you had because you never needed it before. But now you are needing it, and it is rising. You are not as fragile as you once believed. You are not as dependent as you once felt. You are learning how to stand without leaning too heavily on what cannot support you long term. This is growth, even if it feels lonely at times. Loneliness does not mean abandonment. Sometimes loneliness is the space God creates so your identity is no longer shaped by others, but anchored in Him. In that space, false expectations fall away. In that space, your true desires become clearer. In that space, your intuition becomes sharper. God is not isolating you to punish you, He is separating you to prepare you. You are being taught to see beyond words and into actions. Beyond appearances and into intentions. Beyond promises and into consistency. This is not making you cynical, it is making you wise. God's love does not keep you naive. It matures you. And maturity sometimes means realizing that not everything that feels good is good, and not everything that feels uncomfortable is bad. God sees the quiet tears you have cried when no one else was watching. He sees the prayers you whispered when you were too tired to speak loudly. He sees the questions you asked without answers. And He has not ignored any of it. This revelation is His response. It is Him saying, I see you. I hear you. And I am guiding you, even when the path feels unclear. As hidden things come to light, you may grieve what you thought was real. Allow yourself to grieve. Do not shame yourself for believing, hoping, trusting. Those are not weaknesses. They are signs of a loving heart. God does not want you to close your heart, He wants you to guard it wisely. He wants you open, but discerning. Loving, but anchored. Faithful, but aware. Do not try to force clarity all at once. God reveals in layers because growth happens in layers. What you see today may not make complete sense yet, but it will. Be patient with the process. Be gentle with yourself. You are learning, unlearning, and relearning simultaneously. That is not easy work, but it is holy work. This season is teaching you how to trust God more than your assumptions. How to rely on His guidance more than external validation. How to value peace over approval. These lessons will serve you far beyond this moment. They are shaping the foundation of what is. As you continue moving through this season, you may notice your inner voice becoming clearer, steadier, less confused than before. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. When God reveals what has been hidden, He also strengthens your ability to discern what aligns with His peace and what does not. Peace does not always mean things are easy, but it does mean your spirit is no longer constantly battling itself. You may still feel emotions rising, memories surfacing, thoughts replaying, but beneath all of it there is a deeper calm beginning to form. That calm is God reminding you that you are not alone in this process. You are learning that clarity often arrives quietly. Not with dramatic signs. Not with loud announcements, but with subtle shifts in how you respond, how you feel, how you see. You are no longer forcing yourself to ignore what your spirit senses. You are no longer explaining away what feels wrong just to keep the peace. God is teaching you that inner peace is worth more than external comfort. This lesson will change how you move through relationships, decisions, and opportunities from here on. God's love is teaching you to trust what He is showing you, even when it challenges what you hoped for. Hope is beautiful, but misplaced hope can keep you bound to illusions. God is not asking you to stop hoping, He is teaching you where to place it. When hope is rooted in Him rather than in people or outcomes, it becomes stable. It no longer collapses when circumstances shift. You may be realizing that some of your exhaustion came not from doing too much, but from carrying what was never yours to carry. Emotional weight. Responsibility for others' choices. Pressure to keep things together at your own expense. As God reveals what is hidden, He is also inviting you to lay these burdens down. You were never meant to hold everything alone. Love does not demand self-erasure. God's love restores boundaries, not breaks them. It is okay if you feel hesitant about what comes next. Growth often brings uncertainty before it brings confidence. You are stepping into a version of yourself that is more honest, more grounded, more discerning. That version may feel unfamiliar at first. Give yourself permission to grow into it gradually. You do not need to have every answer right now. You only need to stay attentive to God's guidance. You are also learning that not every explanation needs to be spoken. Not every truth needs to be defended. God is teaching you the power of quiet confidence. When you know what He has shown you, you do not need to convince others. Let time reveal what you now understand. Truth has a way of standing on its own. As layers continue to fall away, you may feel lighter in unexpected moments. Small joys returning. Breaths coming easier. Laughter feeling more natural. These are signs of healing. Do not rush past them. Let yourself feel joy without guilt. God is not asking you to remain serious or burdened. His love includes restoration, not just revelation. You may notice a stronger pull toward authenticity. A desire to be real, even if it costs approval. This is not rebellion. This is alignment. God never asks you to become less of who you are. He calls you to become more of who He created you to be. Pretending, performing, and people-pleasing fade when your identity is rooted in Him. Remember, revelation does not always require immediate action. Sometimes it simply requires awareness. Sometimes God shows you something months before He asks you to move. This waiting is not wasted time. It is preparation. It is you learning how to walk with wisdom rather than urgency. When doubt tries to creep in, remind yourself of how far you have already come. There were times you prayed for clarity, strength, and peace. You are now living in the answers to those prayers, even if the answers look different than you imagined. God often answers prayers in ways that change us, not just our circumstances. Let go of the urge to revisit the past with regret. You made the best choices you could with the understanding you had at the time. Now you have greater understanding. Honor that growth rather than condemning your past self. God never holds your past against you. He redeems it. As this journey continues, stay close to what nourishes your spirit. Quiet moments. Honest prayer. Rest. Simplicity. God speaks most clearly when your heart is not crowded. You do not need to fill every space with noise or distraction. Stillness is not emptiness, it is invitation. Most importantly, remember this truth: God's love has not changed. It is not stronger now because you see more. It was always this strong. You are simply becoming more aware of it. Every revelation is wrapped in love, even when it feels challenging. Every truth is delivered with purpose, even when it disrupts comfort. You are being guided toward a life that feels more real, more aligned, more free. Trust what God is doing, even when you do not fully understand it yet. He is faithful. He sees the whole picture. And He is walking with you, step by step, as hidden things fade and truth leads you forward. As this season continues to unfold, you may begin to sense a quiet confidence rising within you. Not the kind that needs to announce itself or prove anything, but the kind that comes from knowing you are being guided. This confidence is not built on everything being perfect, it is built on trust. Trust that even when clarity comes slowly, it is still coming. Trust that even when answers feel partial, God is still speaking. Trust that love is present, even in moments of uncertainty. You are learning to sit with truth instead of rushing past it. That takes courage. Many people avoid what God is revealing because it asks them to change, to let go, to grow. You are not avoiding it. You are allowing it. And that willingness matters more than you realize. God honors a heart that is open, even when it feels tender. There may be moments when you miss what once felt familiar. That is natural. Familiarity can feel like safety, even when it was limiting. Do not confuse nostalgia with calling. God is not asking you to erase your memories, He is asking you not to live in them. What lies ahead carries more alignment, even if it requires patience to reach it. You may notice that your prayers are changing. Less asking for things to go back to how they were, and more asking for strength to move forward wisely. This shift is growth. It shows that your trust in God is deepening. You are no longer clinging to outcomes. You are leaning into guidance. When fear whispers that you might be wrong, remember how often God has already been faithful. Recall the moments when clarity came just in time, when protection appeared where you least expected it, when peace returned after confusion. These memories are anchors. Hold on to them when the path feels quiet. God is also inviting you to forgive, not necessarily to reconcile, not to forget, but to release. Forgiveness is not agreement with what hurt you. It is freedom from carrying the weight of it forward. As hidden things come into the light, forgiveness makes room for healing. It lightens your spirit so you can move forward without bitterness weighing you down. You do not have to explain your growth to everyone. Some will understand. Some will not. That is okay. Your journey is sacred, and not everyone is meant to have full access to it. God often works quietly in the deepest transformations. Let your life speak when words fall short. As you become more aligned, you may feel a stronger pull toward purpose. Not pressure, but clarity. A sense that your experiences are not wasted. That what you have walked through has shaped empathy, wisdom, and depth within you. God wastes nothing. Even the painful revelations are being woven into something meaningful. There will be moments of temptation to doubt yourself, to shrink back into old patterns because they feel easier. When that happens, pause. Breathe. Remember who you are becoming. Growth is rarely linear. Compassion toward yourself is part of obedience too. God's love is steady. It does not fluctuate with your understanding or your emotions. Whether you feel strong or uncertain, confident or tired, loved or questioning, His presence remains. You do not have to earn it. You are not on probation. You are held. The hidden things that have been revealed no longer have power over you. Awareness has broken that hold. You now have the ability to choose differently, to respond instead of react, to move with intention instead of fear. This is freedom unfolding, step by step. As you step forward, let peace be your confirmation. Not the absence of challenges, but the presence of clarity in your spirit. God leads with peace, even when the road is unfamiliar. If you feel His peace, trust that you are moving in the right direction. Rest in this truth as you continue on. God loves you completely. His love is not threatened by your questions, nor weakened by your growing awareness. It is the very reason you are seeing more clearly now. Love reveals because love protects. Love guides because love cares. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right where you need to be, learning what you need to learn, shedding what needs to fall away. Walk forward gently, faithfully, and with trust. What God is building in you will last. And the path ahead, though still unfolding, is filled with purpose, peace, and the quiet assurance that you are deeply, endlessly loved.